Welcome back to OG Alert. I'm your host, X in a Box. Let's get right into the news. A Mojang Classic Cape account was stolen on October 13th. Sources say it was pulled through Mojang's own support system, which is pretty cool. Good job, guys. Once the account had been stolen, the name was changed to Daddy Payment XO and it logged on to Blockmania. This didn't last long though, because a little more than an hour later, the account was back in the hands of its rightful owner, the name history had been reverted, and Prof Mobius logged onto Blockmania to claim his name MC profile along with his wife Razzleberry Fox. Mojang Classic Cape accounts are so rare, and only a select few players have actually been on a server at the same time as one, so I would not be surprised if this never happens again. Back before March or April of this year, there was an account with the username _. Nobody knows who owned it, but we know that it was an actual player and not Mojang owned. Well, in March or April, it was name changed to space12345 and _ was removed from its name history. Nobody knows why Mojang did this, but it sucks for the owner of the account. Recently, well, at the beginning of October, the name was changed to Snibbled, most likely by the account's owner. Sorry you lost _ dude. Before we get into our next story, let's look at last week's names. Last episode, we looked at 6 upcoming names. Twirls was sniped by Poseidon, Tough was sniped by Deviants, Pinch was sniped by Deviants, Loom was sniped by Deviants, Poos was sniped by Chearful Ninja, as well as our underrated name, Pontiac. Chearful Ninja made an announcement on November 1st that reads, "It's with a heavy heart that we announce that Chearful Ninja will gradually start to cease operations. We're still figuring out the next steps, but for now, if you have any balance/premium/other stuff you'd like a refund on, then there's more information on your dashboard on how to go about this." At this point, Chearful Ninja has pretty much stopped sniping, which feels really strange to me. They've had such a huge presence in the community for years, and without them, we don't have name transfers. Goodbye, Chearful and Ninja. I'll miss you. I hope you guys come back at some point. Okay, so you guys might remember back in September when all those accounts were name changed to Skidsnipe plus a bunch of numbers? Well, that whole wave has ended, and I want to go over some of the best names that fell victim to the Skidsnipe wave. Tons of OG and semi-OG names dropped to the public, but before we get into those, I want to point out that my man Antlion was a victim and luckily was able to change his name back to Antlion before it got dropped to the public. Because there are so many names that dropped, I'm only going to mention my favorites. Poise, Pyromaniac, Mismatch, Clad, Samir, hey, it's Samir! Holland, Ebb, or as I like to say, EBB3, Hilda, shout out Hilda, Recharge, Admit, Transmission, Tilted, Tongs, Textures, Alike, Rana, and Piper. Okay, so there's an account named Wam that you guys may have seen. It has 5 capes and is thought to be owned by someone who is close with Mojang. Recently, it was cracked and sold to a guy named M4. M4 claimed it on NameMC and then gave it out to people in the community so that a lot of different IPs would log into it in quick succession, triggering a forced password reset. People played with it on Hypixel as well as a bunch of other servers until their sessions died, and the account is now back in the hands of its original owner where it's supposed to be. Some of you may have seen that the name Doug was changed to MySpace X Lock spelled wrong, and the story behind it is kind of sad. The owner of it was trying to sell it and gave semi-full access to the person he was selling it to, and they changed the name and the email. The owner was then trying to dispute the email change, and the account just got locked. So now Doug is dropping to the public on December 10th. On October 10th, 11th, 12th, and November 4th, there were some new Realms Mapmaker capes applied to some accounts. These are the 8 accounts we know of. The other day, something wonderful happened. I was just minding my own business on Blockmania when I came across this board of life quotes, and I asked my main man, Omashu, if my life quote could be added to the wall, and lo and behold, he wrote it down. Here's a screenshot Jope took of Omashu in the act, and here's some footage of the actual quote. One thing I really want to mention in this episode is that one of the main account trading forums, OG Users, was hacked recently and the database was breached. This was done by Discoli, a name you may remember if you've been around the channel for a while, as well as someone named Chinese. If you have an OG Users account, I urge you to change your password, and if you use your OG Users password anywhere else, change those passwords too. When these kinds of things happen, it's always a good reminder for everyone to not reuse passwords. Now, for the first time since August 15th, I want to welcome you back to This Week in Sniping. Before we start this segment, I want to give a huge shout out to Toon for putting this information together for me. Go say hi to him in the Poseidon Discord, I'll link it in the description. Okay, first I'd like to take a moment to talk about Tokyo. I talked about it in the last OG alert, and I think this story with the name Snipe is pretty funny. Chearful Ninja won the Snipe on an SFA account, which, if you know anything about them, is funny on its own, but it gets better. After the name was sniped onto the stolen SFA, the owner of the SFA changed the password. Then, someone in the Chearful community contacted the original owner and found out that, by some coincidence, he was involved in the OG name community for Steam. So Chearful accidentally gave Tokyo to someone who likes OG names. The next curious case in the sniping scene is related to the name Release. Nobody is 100% sure what happened, but everyone was waiting for the name to drop, ready to snipe it, and 2 hours before its time of release, somebody sniped it. Later, it was learned that someone had gone through Mojang support and gotten them to release the name early. Nobody knows how this person did it, but good job, whoever you are. Soggy has been sniping a lot of names lately, the highlights being Object and Neo. Object was sniped onto an SFA, then sold to someone in the community. Then, the original owner changed the password. After that, Soggy pulled the account via Mojang support and now owns it as a full access account. Neo was sniped on a full access account. No big story there, just a good snipe. See? SFAs cause drama. People are still using MC Sniper Pie. Yes, I'm actually going to make an MC Sniper Pie video. Mostly 3 characters and low tier semis. Also Possibly, which I think is a good name. Poseidon has been sniping 3 character names as well as some semi-OGs, the best being Burps. Apparently they're also starting to snipe some names onto full access accounts, which is cool. Always hate to see good names going on SFAs. Deviants, our king of sniping these days, has sniped some good ones. A few being EMF, Mission, Seam, Red, Challenger, Waltz, Narc, and of course last week's names. Almost all of Deviants' names go on full access accounts, which makes me very happy. Some of you will remember the name Goldline from back in the summer when he was beating Chearful with SFAs. He is still alive and well, and has been teasing releasing his sniper, but a tease might be all we'll get from him. Chearful Ninja closed down, as I talked about earlier, but they do still snipe names sometimes, so who knows, they might come back. Recently they sniped Tulips and Alive, and we already talked about Tokyo. HX7, the guy who made his big entry into the sniping scene by sniping Egg, says he has no more interest in sniping and most likely will not return to it. Rooster Sniper, a name I for sure haven't heard in a while, is allegedly working on a comeback, but we'll see if and when that actually happens. A guy named Diver made a brief run in the sniping community with his new sniper called C-Zip. He sniped Relaxing, Turnover, and a couple 3-letters, but as far as I know, he's no longer sniping names. And with that, let's get into our upcoming names segment. This week's upcoming names are Sunday, dropping on the 3rd, which has only ever been on the 1 account, so I'm kind of sad that the name was changed. It was so clean, a pre-name too. 280, dropping on the 3rd, which looks like it was sniped on an SFA that got taken back by his owner. Dunce, dropping on the 4th, which is being released for the first time since 2016. Reap, dropping on the 7th, which has only been on 1 account ever since 2015. Jock, also dropping on the 7th, which was a Namechange day snipe and hasn't moved since. And Rome, dropping on the 8th, which looks like the original owner of the 2011 Cape account took it back and didn't want an OG name. We saw a similar situation with Tokyo in the last OG alert. So I don't know what's with these original owners and having capes and then not wanting a really cool name. Now it's time for our next segment, Underrated Name of the Week. This week's name is Perpendicularity, which only has 4 searches. This name is insanely OG, like top tier, and should have way more searches. Now, let's move on to our community screenshots section with my special guest, MCBYT. Okay, so our first screenshot here was sent to me by MCB. That came from an OG Market Discord, right?
Yeah, that is where if I remember correctly, that is where this was originally posted, and that Discord ended up getting terminated a few months back, but it was saved, fortunately, in time, and it's been just kind of circulating around the community for a few months, and I found it back in October.
That's underscore. I mean, how? I don't think there's any better account than underscore.
Underscore is probably the cleanest name you can have. It's literally just a line.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Cool screenshot. Our second one was also sent by MCBYT.
This was sent by, it was either Blunted Vado in my Discord or my friend on Luke the Hacker server, which I did not know until about 10 minutes ago. I genuinely thought this was Blockmania because I don't play his server that much. If I remember correctly, I was told that it can't log on to servers anymore. Like, Mojang somehow patched it.
Okay, so our third one and fourth one both kind of go together, also sent by you. It's Wam, which I talked about earlier in the video. The first one here is just a picture of Wam's 2011 cape, although Wam's a pentacape. Then the second one is, I assume this is, you're on Aiden here.
Yep, that's Aiden.
With Wam.
I heard about this and was really confused because I was doing my own research on pentacapes, and then just like this happened just out of the blue completely with no prior warning. And I got into contact with one of the people that had access to the account. This is actually after the account was locked, by the way. They just had an active like launcher profile, so they were still able to play on servers for a while. And I pixel with them, took a few screenshots. The story of this account, by the way, is insane. We don't know like everything about it, but there's so many theories about how this account just like came into existence. It's crazy.
Yeah, if you guys are interested, go watch MCB's video. It's his most recent one. Talks about this account. Okay, our next screenshot was sent by Dog. It's just a picture of Dry. I don't know what server this is, but I think it's pretty cool looking with all the colorful trees.
This is Invaded Lands, and I don't know. I'm not sure which Dry this is, because if I remember correctly, the original Dry was actually just hard deleted out of the blue a few months back.
Yep.
Which was weird, to say the least.
Yeah, if you guys caught that in OGU Alert, I think I talked about it in like beginning of August or mid-August. There was Dry was deleted.
Yeah.
But
the hole in the wall video. But this was taken on Invaded Lands. I know that just based off the spawn, probably in the last 2 or 3 months, because I think this is a new spawn.
Oh, okay. So if it's recent, then it's probably the second Dry. It's the post-deletion Dry.
Probably post-deletion Dry.
All right. Our next one was sent by Klopp. This has a lot of accounts. It's one of these little lineups.
Yes, this is on Rockspot.
Okay, cool. We have Muslim, Nemo, Kane, Recent, Offer, and Mouth. And I don't know what account Klopp was on.
But yeah, I don't know too much about all these accounts. I think I've seen Muslim, Recent, Offer, and Mouth in game, and Nemo maybe. I haven't seen Kane before now. But they're all pretty decently active on Rockspot and Blockmania.
Our next screenshot was sent by Matthew, and my roommates are being loud. Shout out Peter and Clara. This screenshot has Chloe and Matthew, so it's pretty self-explanatory. There's not much going on here, just Matthew himself and then Chloe next to him. I think those are pretty. It's actually a really clean screenshot because you don't often see just like first name or common first name accounts like that.
Yeah, there are a lot of really nice ones, but they tend to have like bad owner histories or stuff like that, or get locked pretty quickly. And Chloe and Matthew are both probably some of the best ones out there that are still like decently secure.
Actually, this is funny. Matthew, shout out Matthew, by the way, was a X in a Box subscriber in like 2015 when I had like 200 subs and I made like Mindplex survival games videos. Okay. Our next screenshot was sent by Moleman. It is on Blockmania. I don't know when this was, but we have a lot of OG community icons here. Like, if you look closely, you see Legendarisk himself right there. We got Kill It, and it looks like this is a cape line. We have kind of the centerpiece of this screenshot is Billy K _ with the turtle cape.
Yep. And I mean, not too much to say, just insane cape. Probably one of the best special capes out there, and he's active on Blockmania, which is great.
Yeah.
I don't know if you mentioned this already. We've got our 2011 cape on the left, Choco WWW. Oh, the date is in chat, 2020/6/3, so that's June 3rd. June 3rd, 2020.
X in a Box was but a little baby back then. Our next screenshot was sent by Puze, and it's on Munchie MC, and it has Akhenaten, and I don't know what Cobalt he's on.
I genuinely don't know, but he has a Cobalt, so that's great for him, obviously. Shout out Munchie MC, by the way. Good friend of mine, McDonald's, works there. Very, very epic server.
Nice.
And Akhenaten, very good Cobalt cape as well. Pentacape too. Or actually, is that a 6? No, it's a Pentacape. It's a Pentacape. 5 capes and one of them is a Cobalt.
Munchie MC, it's still owned by Bad Boy Halo, right?
Unless he sold it recently, then yeah, still owned by Bad Boy Halo.
So I'm gonna include a video or a clip in this video. I used to hang out in Bad Boy Halo's like private TeamSpeak server. I got him to say that he loves my little brother in like 2014.
I love Sir Gappo.
All right, our next screenshot was sent by Raritud. It's a screenshot with multi, sword, and offline.
Multi is super, super, super active. I've seen him like literally 100 times in the past few weeks. Sword, if I remember, was owned by Kevin. It's got tons of high pixel activity, super high level. It's probably on the top 10 leaderboards, top 20. Offline, just very clean name. Very, very clean.
Yep. It's a solid name. Solid screenshot. Cool. It's like very zoomed in though.
I don't know what that's all about, but it's still nice.
Yeah. Our next one was sent by, or actually this is our last one, was sent by Refry. It's a screenshot of Sad, Mew, and I get this must be Refry on his account with the remade version of the Bongo skin.
This is on Rockspot. It looks like there might have been a tournament going on. We've got Sad here, very clean 3-letter. Mew, another very clean 3-letter. He owns some dupe accounts as well. And then in the background, if I am not mistaken, Chrono the Snowball. That's a Cobalt cape.
Oh my god, you see, yeah, I didn't even notice that Chrono the Snowball's back there. I'm gonna have to zoom out on that in the video.
Sad.
That's
right
awesome.
Sad.
Yep. Alright, that's all the screenshots we have today. Go check out MCB's YouTube channel. I'll have it linked in the description. He makes also like content that's related to the OG community and actually uploads unlike me. So go check out his channel. Thanks for coming on, man.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Alright, that's everything for this episode. Thanks for watching. See you next time. OG Alert Nation now over 10,600 subscribers.